Take a breath. The you breathing right now is not fully the you from a year ago. How much of your body existed exactly 12 months back? How much of it will still be here 12 months from now? And if most of it turns over completely without you noticing, is you really a thing? Or is it a process wearing a thing's costume? Here's the strange part. You don't feel like you're dissolving. You feel solid, continuous. Same face in the mirror every morning. That's because your body isn't built like a statue, holding the same atoms in place for decades. It's closer to a candle flame. The flame keeps its shape, same size, same color, same flicker. But the material inside it is never the same twice. Wax vapor rushes in, burns, and rushes out, over and over. The shape survives. The stuff doesn't. Your body runs on a version of that same trick. Different tissues just burn through their material at wildly different speeds. So let's climb the ladder. From the parts of you that are practically brand new, to the parts that have been sitting there since before you could walk. Start fast. The cells lining your intestines sit on the front lines of a small daily war. Stomach acid, digestive enzymes, whatever questionable snack you just ate. Your gut replaces its entire inner lining roughly every 2 to 4 days. Which means the tissue absorbing your breakfast this morning didn't exist last weekend. Vastly simplifying the biology here. But your gut is basically a subscription that auto-renews every few days, whether you ask for it or not. Climb a rung. Your skin's outer layer fully replaces itself roughly every 2 to 4 weeks. New cells are born deep in the base layer, get pushed upward over days, flatten out, die, and flake off, mostly as dust you'll never notice. A meaningful chunk of the dust in your house used to be you. So the hand scrolling through this video didn't have the same skin on it a month ago. Higher still, red blood cells, the ones ferrying oxygen through you right now, survive for about 4 months before your bone marrow retires them and stamps out new ones. Across a single year, that means your body builds roughly 2 to 3 complete generations of red blood cells. Statistically, the blood in your veins today isn't the blood you had last winter. It's already been swapped out, possibly twice. Higher again, your skeleton feels permanent. It's the thing that's supposedly left when everything else is gone. But bone is constantly being torn down and rebuilt by 2 competing crews of cells, one demolishing, one reconstructing. The full cycle takes roughly a decade, which means about 1/10 of your skeleton gets replaced every single year. The bone holding you up right now isn't the exact bone that held up teenage you. It's a newer build on the same blueprint. And at the very top of the ladder, a handful of tissues barely bother to renew it all. Most of your heart muscle cells are the same ones you were born with. Maybe 1% get replaced per year, and that rate only drops further as you age. The lens of your eye never turns over. It just keeps adding layers, like tree rings for life. Tooth enamel once formed is finished forever. There's no rebuild option, only wear. And the neurons doing most of your actual thinking, in your cerebral cortex, largely the same cells you had as a toddler. They don't divide. They don't get swapped out. They're original equipment. Here's the part that makes this more than trivia. Scientists can actually prove it, cell by cell, using leftover fallout from Cold War nuclear bomb tests. Atmospheric nuclear testing in the 1950s and 60s briefly doubled the level of a radioactive carbon isotope in the air worldwide. Every living thing on Earth breathed it in and built it into new tissue as that tissue formed, like an invisible timestamp baked into every new cell. That isotope has been decaying on a known, measurable schedule ever since. So researchers can take a single cell from your heart or your brain, measure how much of that Cold War carbon isotope is still inside it, and calculate, down to a fairly precise year, exactly when that cell was born. It's how scientists confirmed, directly, that most cortical neurons really are as old as you are, and that heart cells really do stick around for life. Your cells are quietly carrying date stamps from the year they were made. So here's where that leaves you. Gut lining from this week, skin from this month, blood from this season, bone from this decade, wrapped around a core of heart and brain cells that have quietly outlasted almost everything else about you. You're not a statue. You never were. You're a flame, same shape, Same flicker, completely different material, year after year. And the part of you doing the remembering? That might be the only part of this whole video old enough to actually remember it.